So we open up the bottom of the second inning. I implore you, don't maybe change the stream on the Ivy League Digital Network or turn us off, because this game is so far from over. It's, I promise you, a ridiculously long way from over, and we know Columbia is going to make a push. 6 runs today, this week, this ballpark, nothing. It'll be the bottom of the order due up for Columbia in the bottom of the second. In fact, I do not think 8 runs will be enough to win the game. But the problem for Columbia is going to be holding this Cornell offense down, which, as I was going on about, has been so impressive today. It wasn't really the Cornell offense that won them their 4 games so far in Ivy League play. It had a lot to do with the pitching and the bullpen. Cornell bullpen's been terrific, led by the guys we saw in Game 1, Matt Horton and Peter Lanoux. First pitch is tapped towards short. Coming in is Cranes. Fires to first in time. 1 gone, and it'll be A.J. DiFilippo's turn. Well, these are very important games for, obviously, both teams that they want to stay alive. Last year, they were probably more important for Columbia, because even though Cornell won 3 of 4, they still had a tough shot at getting the Gehrig Division crown based on their standing coming into this point last year. This year they're only a game behind Columbia that misses outside. So, if Cornell had a big weekend here, they take 3 out of 4, they're right back in the thick of things, and it kind of pushes Columbia to the outside looking in. Well, a split doesn't do that much for either team that's in for a strike. It keeps them on the fringe of the race, but they've got to do damage against Penn and Princeton then. In other words, win both series, you figure. Or if Penn or Princeton dominates their head-to-head matchup this weekend, you got to beat up on that team. DiFilippo chops one off the plate, and what a nice play by Lewis to tag him out as he dove in a first. Heads up. 2 gone. And Lane Robinette comes up. Penn walked off Princeton 5-4. So, something to keep in mind. I don't think you can be that displeased with that result if you're Columbia or Cornell. And this one's jolted by Robinette deep in the left field and up against the wall. Arndt has to play it, and Lane Robinette has a 2-out double. We go back to the top of the order, and Julian Barry. Princeton, since they were a game up on Columbia and Penn, now with Penn's win, both teams are 5-4, and Columbia and Cornell are both a game out at 4-5. So if Columbia had won Game 1, odds would be tied for first place in the Gehrig Division right now. If you're Columbia, you want either a split or Penn to win 3 out of 4. As DiFilippo pulls back the bunt. Obviously, no matter what happens, you need to play pretty well these next 2 weekends. And, if Penn now goes on a run and cleans up with Princeton this weekend, then that makes that last weekend all the more important. Columbia needs to, at the very least, win 2 games this weekend to even worry about that. That's away 1-1. Again, it was losing 3 out of 4 at Cornell that really did him in last year, even though the Lions won both series over Penn and Princeton in the final 2 weekends. So, they went to extra innings. It took till the bottom of the 9th. Swing and a miss 1 and 2. I'd love to see what the final play was. In the box score, in the play-by-play, it says, oh no, it was actually a Grohl RBI single that won it in a left field. So big win for the Quakers. 1-2 pitch, Barry takes low. And quite a stretch in spring break for Julian Barry. Game 1 he was 0 for 4 to be doubled his first time up in Game 2. He fouls this one off. 2-2 pitch. Barry fouls another one off onto the football field. And there'll be some kids who will sprint after as it rolls to about the 31-yard line. Robinette on second base. 2-2 to Barry. Fights another one foul. This is what Julian Barry does. Again, since spring break, coming into this doubleheader, 379 the batting average. That's in 14 games, so a good sample size. Driving the ball, understanding his strike zone better and better as the season has gone on. You see the progress with the bat. 2-2. Does it again. The kids are getting a workout down on the football field. The spring game played in about 90 minutes, it seems like, on the Robert K. Kraft Field earlier today. No report on the final score, if it was the blue team or the white team that got the victory. 2-2. Foul tipped. So Barry continues to battle. Coach Moretti said that in the fall, Julian wanted to just swing at everything. He wanted to just swing, get down the line. But he understands now better about driving the ball and understands his strike zone. So he can make contact, but a little bit of weak contact there on a fly ball in the left field. And it puts an end to the second inning. So Robinette's 2-out double goes to waste. It remains 8-2 Cornell on the Ivy League Digital Network.
They say you play basketball, you play football, you play tennis, but you can't play boxing. You have to fight. I remember the night it went completely downhill. It was a massive tumor that had wrapped itself around my spine. And Dr. Hartle, who was my surgeon, he aced it. They resurrected me. On August 9th, 2014, I became the WBA middleweight champion of the world.